Hello and welcome to Cricket Adda, your new home for deep conversations, cricket conversations, and bold predictions. And today I am your host, Somit, and I'm super excited because we are kicking off a new season with some people who don't just watch cricket, but think cricket, feel cricket, and definitely argue cricket 24/7. And today, I think it's been a while we have done a podcast, so it's definitely going to be super fun. Today, we'll be diving into some of the big topics from the world cricket, and especially we'll be discussing Indian cricket, but the trends, the controversies, and the tactics, and of course, our predictions. Um, and to do that, I have got an absolutely stacked panel today. First, I have Shubham Kulkarni, the founder of Cricket Adda and one of the sharpest analytical minds I know. Then we have Nikhil Vishwanath, a strategist who looks at cricket like a chessboard. And then we have Amrit Sahu, who is a walking encyclopedia. And today there is another guy, Shubham Badekar, who will be joining us live after some time. He has some work. So, yeah. So, boys, welcome to Cricket Adda. Super excited to have you all here today, and we'll be covering a lot. So, before we get into debates and opinions, I want to set the stage with a bit of context. If you're looking at Indian cricket over the last 2 decades, it's been the one of the most like dramatic evolutions we have ever seen in world sport. Like, let's say, statistically, structurally, and more important, like culturally, I've seen a dramatic evolution in the ICT. So the game we watch today is very different from the India or the ICT we grew up watching. Those trophyless years, or a decade of not winning an ICC trophy to winning back-to-back ICC championships. We have come a long way. Let's narrow down to Test cricket today. Talking about this, I still remember when there were days where teams came to India hoping to compete in, like, let's say 2005 or 2010 times, and which suddenly changed to them coming to survive, coming to India and survive around 2015 or 2016 era. If we gather some more data, um, India played 53 test matches, home test matches, out of which we lost only 4, which is insane. By the way, this is the straight 18 series winning streak, which remains to be one of the most dominant home runs for any test nation in history. And then comes the New Zealand series, the great New Zealand series and the great South Africa series, where Team India has not only faced losses but also whitewashes, which was rare but not anymore. So first, I would like to come to Shubham Kulkarni. As we spoke on pre-Gambhir era and the stats we have seen, what's your take on this? Like the style of um, cricket Indian team plays, or has been playing over the last past years. We'll be discussing a lot over here, but I want to know the transition of the coaching style. Maybe we can say we had a nice guy to what style of coaching currently we are having. So, what's your take on this, Shubham?
Yeah, so before we go into the coaching style, obviously let's have a look at the numbers as well. So you said just 4 losses in 53 games in that phase when you had, say, an Anil Kumble, Ravi Shastri, and then a Rahul Dravid. But when you go to Gautam Gambhir, that's 5 losses. That's the most number of losses under any coach in home tests. And as you said, not only losses, these are whitewashes to say the least. It's humiliating, embarrassing, and disappointing. I mean, Gautam Gambhir, whatever he's doing with the test team, it's definitely not working. I'll cut straight to the chase. There are a lot of moving pieces, to be honest. If we see what he has done in the home test, is there is no definite number three. I have like 7 Indian batters have batted at number 3 since Pujara has been dropped. So it started with Shubman Gill, Then we moved on to Sai Sudarshan and Karun Nair for that England series. In between, Kohli played a game in the New Zealand Test series. Padikkal batted at number 3 in the Perth Test, and then obviously recently Washington Sundar was batting at number 3 in the South Africa series. So that's number one for me. That the batting order is not fixed. Apart from the openers, Jaiswal, KL Rahul, Gill, and Pant, everybody is moving. So Sundar bats at 3 one day, he bats at 8 the other day. NKR bats at 6 one day, bats at 7 the other day. Secondly, what's the role of NKR in an Indian home test? Because if you look at what Hardik Pandya used to do, he used to play only away tests. He played 3 in South Africa, or 2 in South Africa, 4 in England before that bad injury took place. So he hardly played a test in India, maybe the one against Afghanistan, if I'm not wrong. But apart from that, Hardik Pandya never played a test in India. So Nitish Kumar Reddy doesn't really have a role to play in India, playing six ballers on a Turner. I mean, you don't need six ballers, you don't need four spinners. Three spinners, two spinners will do the job. So, I mean, team selections, batting orders are the main talking points here. And that's what is causing this. And obviously, the tosses haven't gone India's way, but that was not an issue before that. Say the 2016 England series, 2017 Australia series, India did lose a lot of tosses, but still ended up winning, despite England scoring 400, 450 on some of those pitches, especially in Wankhede and Chennai. So, I mean, a lot of missing pieces here, moving parts, as I said. And it's clear to see that Gambhir is running this team. It's not Gill or it's not Pant. Pant just captain for one test. So the blame has to go at Gautam Gambhir. And yesterday has come out and said that IPL owners shouldn't talk about split coaching, but I think split coaching is the way forward. I would like to know everybody
We-
else's opinion on this as well, but I think
Yeah,
split.
we'll be
Yeah, yeah,
talking a bit about the split coaching and a lot of things on Gambhir. So that's actually the next segment, and
sure.
I think it's one of the most interesting ones. The thing is Indian cricket going through a cultural reset? That's one of the biggest questions. Like, some people call it a shift in mindset, maybe, and some, let's be honest, call it arrogance, because whatever is happening and whatever you said earlier. And um, I would like to come to Amrit with this question. Do you think Gambhir's personality is what the Indian team needed after years of nice guy coaching styles we have seen? Nice guy in
Uh,
the sense, I mean Dravid, yeah, of course, yeah.
yeah. Uh, so I would like to start with this generation of players, right? They have grown primarily not through the first class or the traditional pathway of how the cricket talent comes
More
up.
kind of
They have
IPL
come up,
talent, yeah.
yeah, they have come up
Hmm.
through the IPL talent with more exposure to glamour, more exposure to high paying opportunities. Uh, and this is the generation that is in the fore right now. The legends who have come through first class cricket, they have mostly faded away or gone back. So there needs to be someone who has, to manage these people. There needs to be someone who can uh, kind of bring some sort of uh, bring these people on the ground level. Ki, okay, you don't have to be thinking about fame and Instagram likes and all. Just
Hmm.
focus purely on cricket. But again, saying that Gambhi's mindset might be right, but I don't think his coaching style or even I would say the support staff, uh, given in these circumstances where batsmen are not able to apply on spin friendly pitches, it's not that uh, they don't have the skills, but they need to be mentored and they need to be guided properly. So I
Hmm.
would say mindset wise Gambhir is a proper like fit for this current team, but probably his coaching style and his support staff are maybe not up to the mark.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. And to follow up on that, like, I would like to ask Nikhil and want to know, like, what's his take on whether there should be a rule for a coach to have at least domestic coaching experience prior coming to international side. and lead some of the one of the greatest teams. Like he's like leading one of the greatest teams in world cricket, and he don't have any domestic coaching experience. I think someone mentioned this point earlier as well. I think it was Ravi Shastri. He didn't mention it directly, but what's your take on this, Nikhil?
Yeah, first off, thanks for inviting me. Based
Yeah.
on the fact that I would like to pose a question generally, are we picking a coach for the team? Are we changing the team based on a coach? Is a question ICT has to really answer here. And talking about coach's experience, sure, Gambhir comes from this flamboyant record of how you pick players from IPL experience, the KKR winning trophy, and how he was kind of vocal about taking the coaching role if they existed. And
I totally agree. Yeah.
yeah, once Dravid had kind of like not renewed, even though he was offered the role to be coach and he wanted to either be part of franchise cricket or where it was, two people mainly were in the name. And even when Gambhir was unavailable with the test side, VVS Lakshman is also a coach who was part of this. And one thing is a main concern is Gambhir doesn't have a lot of, Ranji Trophy coaching experience or something in that sense, which someone like WV Raman or VVS Lakshman kind of brings to the picture. And has that hurt India? Yes. Like one specific number game here is in the India South Africa series in particular. Sure, Simon Harmer comes from decades of experience playing first class cricket, county cricket in particular. But even though India has few like players who played test cricket for a while, like Jaiswal's played upwards of 30 tests at this point, and you always have Jadeja in the mix. Washington Sundar has been part of the test side since the Port Augusta Trophy, and there are some big numbers who played outside of India as well. But their first class experience definitely doesn't support the fact that they've been here for a while. They haven't been playing for their test side, or the roles they've played is not reflective of what position Gambhir or Agarkar has put them in this side. So that is reflective of how much time and effort has the coaches or the selectors spent in the domestic circuit, because ignoring some big names, which probably we'll discuss further, like Safraz Khan or how good our Ishwarans has been, and in the bowling department as well, to be honest. Washington Sundar and Nitish Kumar are good bowlers, and they've been, decent in the IPL as well as in white ball cricket generally. Washington Sundar was initially picked as a T20 bowler, but they don't open the bowling, or they're not the frontline bowlers in their own test side, in their own domestic state side.
Exactly. I agree on this. Yeah.
Kind of begs the question, are the coaches and selectors actually looking in domestic circuit what's happening? And with the ignorance of selections, something like that is a big factor. One of the best coaches currently in all format cricket is Andy Flower. He comes with loads of experience, even actually like something like Lancashire cricket and everything, including county cricket. He's been a coach there, and part of a long list of trophies he has in international as well as franchise cricket. That doesn't come easy. Sure, it's early days. Sorry, for someone like Gambhir, I mean, just 2 years into this, one of the biggest title coaching stints in world cricket. And will he settle in? Hopefully. Will he continue to be part of this? That's something we have to see in the future.
Yeah, yeah, and a very good point you mentioned earlier, like about NKR and Washington Sundar. They they are kind of a batting all rounder. I can't see them bowling in a test match. And the other thing is, in domestic cricket, NKR usually comes at 6 or 7, I think. And if you're batting at 6 or 7 for the Indian team, let's say, you have to be there at like top four maybe in domestic cricket. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the things which the management needs to figure out. And the other thing is Washington Sundar. I think why he came at number 3, no one knows about it, because by doing this you're questioning Sudarshan.
Yeah.
Like he yeah, you are questioning his mindset, his way of playing, and other stuff, because you're saying that you're not confident in Sudarshan at number 3 because he is replacing Pujara. That's one of the thing. But yeah, these are some of the questions which need to be addressed. I would like to come to Shubham. uh, I want your take on this, Shubham. Like, should the coach talk more? Because you mentioned earlier, I think, should the coach talk more or just avoid the press conferences, especially if it's someone of Gambhir's caliber, who is always intense and straightforward?
Well, Gambhir can definitely avoid the press conference the way he speaks, because he definitely tries to go against whatever the reporter is trying to ask. He has stopped the reporter midway a lot of times, which is not you should do at a press conference as well. So just going back to the point about talking about whether he should have coached at the domestic level, and that's a great point, because you see these guys who are coming through. Even Rahul Dravid, he coached at India A level, he coached at the domestic level, franchisee level. Then he was at the NCA. He coached the under 19 team, so he's come through the ranks. VVS Lakshuman is doing the same thing. He's at the NCA, heading the NCA at this point of time. And generally, BCCI do have these courses where you have to do level 1, level 2, level 3 before you take up a job, whether it's Amol Muzumdar for the women's cricket team. So Gautam Gambhir hasn't done that. He directly got the job from KKR, and let's be honest, he was not the coach. I mean, he was not the coach, assigned coach, designated coach, but yeah, he did ran the team. But running a IPL team and running a test team is completely different, because you have the money in an IPL auction to go and buy the players you want. Whereas in the test team, you have to work with the players you have. And again, Nikhil made another great point about domestic selections. Sai Sudarshan's selection is also a question mark, because, to be honest, he averaged 39 in his first class career, till he got a chance. And we could see that he is not as established as a first class player, which is being seen in how he performed at the test level. 6 7 test matches now, he just has 150 to show, or a couple of 50s to show, one in England and that 87 against West Indies. So that's a valid point. Why is not Sarfaraz Khan being considered? Why is not Abhimanyu Ishwaran, maybe a Ruturaj Gaikwad? You have a Rinku Singh as well, who averages 56, 57 at the domestic level. I can name another few names as well. But yeah, that's a couple. Those are the couple of questions. And then talking about Gautam Gambhir, I personally think split coaching is the way forward, but I don't think BCCI agrees with me or anybody at this point of time, because, as Nikhil said, it's a high profile job. Working 10 months a year is difficult, and three formats, you're working with a different set of players every single time. It can get taxing for a coach. So if you just split it up, somebody else takes up the red ball duties, and Gambhir can continue the white ball duties as he is, because the results are there to show.
Exactly. Like, just to elaborate on this, we in the sense BCCI was against split captaincy, right? But it happened. Then why not split coaching? That's one of the point. And I want to take your opinions as well, like Amrit and Nikhil, on split coaching, because we are doing split captaincy, which was not allowed earlier, and some of the players were retired. I don't know. It's not the only reason, but yeah, it caused some controversies. But what's your take on this, Amrit and Nikhil, like split captaincy and coaching? Yeah.
Yeah, I can start. So
Yeah.
one key factor which BCCI as a body would also consider is that in international cricket that hasn't been tried yet at all. Sure, there's been cases where a coach hasn't been available, like when the BGT tour was happening, VVS Lakshman was part of the other circuit, and he was kind of, let's say, quote unquote, promoted from the India A side. Has it worked? Yeah, we didn't win the series, the T20 series in particular. But it begs the question of how you manage your thought process. Like, even though Gumby is new, when I say new, he hasn't worked in the NCA, hasn't done the grade level courses or anything. Whatever conversation a coach and a selector has is in conversation with what the NCA does with respect to their 30, 40 plus cohort of cricketers who are in the reserve. And it makes it easier when there's a single coach who keeps his or her eye on how the player is doing and how we can select them. If it's possible to have that conversation different for red ball and white ball cricket, it should be, like a possibility for so many other international teams as well. England in particular, the way prior to the Ben Stokes, Brendan McCullum era, the way they played Test cricket was starkly different from their phenomenal form in the mid 2010s white ball, like T20 World Cup and like the winning the ODI World Cup in whatever way we see it. Their Test team wasn't phenomenally doing well, but the single coach approach, the director, taking more responsibilities than just being an administrative role, kind of did work out for them because they knew who could fit in where. And I feel split coaching could be a possibility. Again, that's something we wouldn't know until kind of, we experiment with it, like captaincy. But my opinion is split coaching is way different from having split captaincy. If you also have a coach and a captain different for a format, it's like having absolutely different teams and different mindsets.
Yeah.
I do agree the mindset you should have for like a longer format should be different, but maybe that's going way different from what we want to have. But yeah, Amrit, please do add up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adding to what you said, Nikhil, I totally agree. So Gambhir has experience from coaching in the IPL where you have your talent base already provided to you. You just have to pick your 11 or 12 and manage the squad. You don't have to scout. You don't have the role to scout the players from domestic. You don't have to groom players, guide them, develop their skills. That is not the scope of the IPL coach, which is probably a 3 month stint. As compared to that, the Indian cricket coach uh, has to do all this stuff in addition to looking at different formats. So you need to have an integrated view of cricketing talent across formats, across domestic cricket. Uh, to have, let's say, you see some player doing well in T20s, you want to try them in Test. Uh, so split coaching probably wouldn't uh, work like that. I would say maybe for the short term you can try split coaching, but in my view, it's not going to be useful for the long term.
Yeah, it's a lot of experiments going on, and
Yeah.
yeah, but
One thing
but
I'd like to
mm,
clarify is that I think I will make points out like why other international sites haven't implemented this and what are the challenges with it. But my personal opinion, to be honest, I'd love to see VVS Lakshman as a Test cricket coach.
white ball. Oh, sorry, red ball. Okay.
Red ball in particular,
Okay.
because I am not opposed to the idea of split coaching because of the resume each of them brings in. Like whatever you say,
Mm,
quoting Gumby, to be honest, for the joke of it, he was the winning coach for Champions Trophy. He was the winning coach for Asia Cup. I'm not saying remove him or axe him from everything altogether, but we should give him more time. And if you're rewarding someone based on success, VVS Lakshman was a fantastic Test cricketer. He's been in this side for a
yeah,
while. Probably he could do split coaching and it would work.
he has some good record as a coach as well, like domestic. Yeah, yeah, and
But
the
just to add a point here, who any other team has tried it. England did try it briefly when who was that? Matt Mott, I think. Matthew Mott was the white ball coach, and Baz came in as the Test red ball coach. He
Initially,
worked
yeah.
with Ben Stokes. Yeah, he worked with Ben Stokes, and Matthew Mott was working with Joss Butler. So if India can like split the captaincy as well, Shubman Gill takes care of the T20, of the Test team, and you have a new coach there, and then you have for the white ball, Gambhir takes over with whoever the captains are. Something like that can work, but obviously if you have the same captain everywhere, then you might need the same coach as well. So I mean, yeah, obviously it's tricky, but my basic point is that whatever Gambhir is doing with the red ball team is definitely not working. So why not just try and change it up and let him handle the white ball stuff and give the red ball stuff to somebody else?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Uh, Actually, there are many questions like do young players feel more fear than freedom? That's also one of the question, right? Because yeah, they need to focus on IPL. Okay, IPL is coming. We have 3 months and we have to perform there, and we will get into a test side, a T20 side, or ODI side. That's how currently everyone is getting a chance in the international side, right? And I don't think so. Everyone, or many of them are focusing on domestic cricket, which is the fundamental of getting into the test side. But many, I've seen some players getting picked up on their IPL performances, not only in T20s but in ODIs, but in test teams. So there are literally many questions, but I need to move forward with one of the other exciting segment, which is the big two. Like, and you guys know who the big two are: Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. I'm talking about. So yeah,
I
I want to
thought
discuss.
Australia and England. I thought Australia.
Oh no, yeah. So we'll be exploring on the sudden retirement of Rocco and that shift in management as well. Like whether you can say pressure of scoring runs or to be in the team, those kind of stuff. So I want to ask Shubham because just to mention a point, I was living with Shubham at this time when everything happened. So, how surprising was the retirement of Kohli was you? Like, especially like from the Test cricket, I am saying T20. We all know it. It was evident that he will be retired from T20 after winning the cup. But yeah, I want to ask about the Test cricket, which was a surprise.
Yeah, just to state it clearly, it was a huge surprise because it came midway in the IPL. Nobody expected it. There was an England series coming up, an overseas tour coming up. Yes, he wasn't having the best of times with the bat over the last 5 years. Let's not be, let's not fake that. But
Yeah,
last
I
five
think
years,
it's 2019. Yeah.
yeah, he wasn't doing well with the bat, but he had 100 at Perth, and but yeah, he got out in the similar fashion in the rest of the innings in the BGT. But there was a big tour coming up. We saw him play the first class game for Delhi. Unfortunately, didn't get runs in that game as well. But from whatever the chat was, he spoke with the with his coach and said that he was really looking forward to the England series. He was really looking forward to play two India A games which happened before that England series. And suddenly, midway through the IPL, you see Virat Kohli has announced his retirement from Test cricket. And to be fair, that is his favorite format, or was his favorite format, because it's quite clearly evident he was the best Test captain India has ever produced. And he enjoyed the format like nobody else did, and obviously it made the format better as well. So it definitely came in as a huge surprise. I would be surprised if the coach and the selector didn't have a role to play in it. I mean, from what I understand, obviously there were talks of him getting the captaincy at one point during the BGT, and then suddenly the selector coming in and saying that you might not be picked after the England series. We will assess you after the England series and then take a decision. Maybe that hurt his ego, and these players have a big ego, so you don't know what happened in between. Obviously you will never know, but from what Ravi Shastri came out and said that if I was in charge, I would have made him the captain, so that also suggests that some things were definitely not right there, and that definitely hampered his Test career. He could have played a lot more. Yeah, Nikhil.
Yeah. Do you think I mean, it did coincide with the start of the new 2 year cycle for the World Test
Correct,
Championship.
correct.
And it could have been
Yeah.
more of a personal decision, as you said, like, pushed by the management in particular. But he probably felt that if he is just want to be part of this WTC cycle where he's also taking up the number 4 spot, he'd probably want
Mhm.
to be in entirety of it, with questions on him kind of not, just spending more time with family and
Mhm.
his personal
Mhm.
reasons. He probably wouldn't have been wanna like take part in the entire till 2025, 2027 cycle. That in turn would have hindered India's plans to form a team, which is a big question mark now. Number 3 and number 4, sure, Shubman Gill kind of depromoted himself number 4, but that's still a big question mark with respect to our performance. Probably that played a factor.
Yeah, I think that did play a factor as well, especially with Rohit Sharma. That was a big factor. He was asked whether he's looking for the next 2 years, and he was definitely not looking to play for the next 2 years. So maybe with Kohli as well. But yeah, as you said, it has left a hole, not number four, but number three, because Gill moved from three to four, and now three you're
Mhm.
looking for players. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you
I'd
wanna
love to
add
add
something,
more
Amrit?
about
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'd love to add more about later because by chance I've played a lot with Sai Sudarshan and through the Tamil Nadu circles got to know more about Washington Sundar with the number 3 question, but later after Amrit.
Yeah, I mean, Virat Kohli's retirement again led to a cascade of things that happened later, like Gill moving to number 4, then, as Shubham mentioned earlier, 7 players then being tried out at number 3. So, again, where did this start? Probably he should have been, continued for the England series at least. Uh, Probably there should have been some understanding, some discussion ki, yeah, let's just be, don't be the captain, just play as the team needs you as a batsman. You are the player with the most experience. You need to be there.
Mhm.
Some convincing had to be there. I don't know if,
There was some communication gap. I
yeah,
think that, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of the most important things, like we mentioned about Rohit and Kohli's retirement, but we actually can't forget Ashwin's retirement, because whatever we are seeing, the New Zealand series, the South Africa series, when you lose Ashwin, you lose one half of a spin partnership that helped build like India's fortress at home for more than a decade. I can say it was Ashwin and Jadeja, or I can also say that Jaddu was good when Ashwin was around, and Ashwin was good when Jaddu was around. Jadeja has done really well. I'm not talking about him taking like lesser wickets or something, but he was more better when Ashwin was around. So what is your take on this, Nikhil? Like Ashwin's retirement and when the partnership between Jadeja and Ashwin was present, and we were just winning the test matches, and now it's a hole in the team, and I don't think so. Washington Sundar is able to fit in that particular hole in the team. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I'd say like a three-part question. Like it was always marketed even in newspapers, Ravi twins in tandem, and how Ashwin and Jadeja, including IPL, possibly and later in Indian cricket in particular tests. The
Yeah.
dominance they had, especially in the second innings, where even though you had an amazing foray of fast bowlers under Kohli's captaincy, where he could even take 20 wickets, Ashwin would take the new ball in the third or the fourth innings, run through the openers, left-handers, right-handers, doesn't matter, and they complemented each other really well. Another question, which kind of contrasts with the selection of Washington Sundar, he's a phenomenal cricketer and all, but Ashwin is someone even off season. He used to play in my college cricket grounds with MRCA, where Pujara was part of the team. He'd try all variations, particularly practice for Test cricket, and come and implement that and work wonders. And the way, especially in the mid-pandemic England series, where one of the best all-round performances you could see with a century in Chepauk as well, he could give that handy runs at number 8 with Jadeja. Both with batting and bowling, their partnership was phenomenal. And even though, let's say, a side like England could score 450 runs, and if we could score maybe 500, 600 and get a 100-run lead, we could run through them with the confidence that Ashwin was taking the new ball. That
Exactly.
kind of lacks now with experience mainly. Key factor is that Washington Sundar currently plays number 3 for Tamil Nadu and Ranji, and he's been doing pretty good. His average is good. He's had 2 centuries where he had a record partnership with N. Jagadishan, and again like a batting all-rounder, because Tamil Nadu has really good frontline off spinners and left-arm orthodox spinners. So Washington Sundar in red ball cricket isn't your frontline spinner, and if you're not your frontline spinner in the Ranji Trophy, you can't be expected to take that job which Ashwin had in Test cricket right away. You need your traditional spinners. India has kind of overlooked the traditional spinners we had from the Ranji circuit, like Saurabh Kumar. Jayant Yadav was proper spinner which India used to have in the Test side. He probably due to age is not even considered these days anymore. And that is a challenge because sure you have Jadeja, but he's also kind of in the end of his career. Kuldeep Yadav should be India's, like if you put a name list for the spinner, he should be the number 1 with his record bowling average and strike rate. But who is your second frontline spinner is a conversation we need to have. That's kind of where I understand how India would want Washington at 3, because especially when you're going overseas, if you have a pure batter at number 3 who can also bowl really good spin when necessary, you can pick 2 frontline spinners and your balance looks good. Sure, it brings the question of, do we have another all-rounder? But yeah, you shouldn't pack 5 all-rounders and not have either batting or bowling in a question mark. But Washington at 3 does give an opportunity to pick a proper spinner and strengthen your bowling lineup, especially at least at home where we don't get whitewash anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to add something, Shubham, on this, like Ashwin's retirement?
No, I think even Ashwin's retirement came as a huge surprise. I thought he had another 2 years at least in the home test, because you had this South Africa series. BGT is coming up in 2027, so he could have played that and retired. Anyways, he was not being considered for overseas tests, so home tests, he was a must. I have watched that 2016, 17, 18, 19 home season where one end it was Ashwin, the other end it was Jadeja, and it used to be so much fun to watch them just go past the outside edge of both the batters on both the ends. So Ashwin and as Nikhil mentioned, Sundar is not developed as an off spinner to that level. And again, what happens is Sundar has come from white ball cricket. He started as an IPL spinner in way back in 2017 for RPS. So
RPS,
he
right.
has that yeah, he has that skill of bowling fast, bowling quick, and in Test cricket you need a completely different skill. He's working on it, and as Nikhil said, he is a good talent. He's a great talent. He will get there probably one day. But at this point, with Ashwin not there, definitely it becomes a lot of a burden on Jadeja, because he's the only spinner with loads of experience at that level. So yeah.
Yeah, makes sense though. Yeah. So I see we have a new guest here, Shubham Bahadkar, if that's right. Yeah, Shabby. We can call him Shabby. So I can fire him a question now. So yeah, moving
He is
on to
the
the.
second biggest Jadeja fan, by the way. So don't go against Jadeja while speaking to him.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah. So yeah, we can move on to the next segment, which is like the current ODIs which India just played, India versus South Africa. So in that, top order was performing really good, like beautifully. We have seen some centuries from top three batsmen,
Reminds
and
me of the 2013 India Australia series performance.
Yeah.
yeah. I remember that. Yeah, but the lower middle order was not that promising. I can say, like there were some matches where they could have pushed the target more, maybe in the second ODI,
Yeah.
because we got a good start, and especially the bowling unit. That's what I want to discuss. Batting order, we were great. We are great now. They are performing because they need to be here till 2027. That's the thing. And the real question is, does India even have a bowling unit that can go in the big games without Bumrah in limited overs? I am talking. So I want to ask Shubham Bahadkar. So what's your take on this, on the bowling unit of Indian cricket team in limited overs,
Yeah, I mean,
based on recent performances? Yeah.
yeah. So we are talking. If you're talking about limited overs as a whole, like T20 plus ODIs, then
Mhm.
there are, I mean, a lot of options which are we can which guys are playing right now. White ball cricket. Arshdeep Singh is basically playing both the formats right now. Harshit Rana is all format player, as we all know. We have Bumrah, who is in and out based on the injuries, and I think he won't be considered for ODIs until the World Cup, T20 World Cup, because he needs to be fit, kept fit, avoiding any injuries till the T20 World Cup. So he won't be playing any ODIs. And I think there are people like Prasidh Krishna, Mohammad Siraj is in and out again from ODIs, from T20s. I mean, they just consider because he's also playing tests, and they also consider the test load for the Mohammad Siraj. So that's the overall lot that we have right now. And obviously, then we have the all rounders like Shivam Dubey in T20s. We have Nitish Kumar Reddy, and not to mention the best all rounder in India, Hardik Pandya. So that's the overall lot that we have. Talking about the current ODI series, because Siraj and Bumrah are not playing because they have been like keeping them fit for T20s and all that. So again, we are directly coming to the second string of the bowlers, and again, without Hardik Pandya, is really the second string of the bowlers that are there that were playing this ODI series. And I mean, I was seeing some facts like Prasidh Krishna is also like a lot of experience now, but he has not like risen his game. He has not reached that level so far. Like, so
He's
that is one of the
consistently inconsistent. I can say that. I don't know. That's
yeah.
my take, but yeah, you can yeah, continue.
Yeah, so when we are talking about the B side, or we can talk about the second string of the bowler, at least someone should rise up and someone should show that potential to be in the A string of the paces, and that was exactly the missing part. Harshit Rana is anyway new, but even though he bowled really well in the second ODI, I guess, or the first ODI, and Prasidh Krishna also made a good comeback in the third ODI after initial few bad overs, but again the consistency was not there, which you rightly mentioned that where was he in the first two ODIs then if he directly came back in the third ODI. So that was a problem. Arshdeep Singh is really good in patches, I would say. He's really good in the starting overs and maybe the death bowling. But the middle overs, which sometimes Bumrah comes up and gives you the crucial wickets, which the ability Bumrah has, it is completely missing in these three pace trio that we had. And all the load then eventually went to Kuldeep Yadav and Jadeja to give the wickets in the middle over. And when we didn't get that, we lost that second ODI. So that's the conundrum that is kind of currently having because of the T20 World Cup nearby. I think these guys are not able to identify the pacers those which should play ODIs. Hardik Pandya injury is also making the things worse for them. So yeah, I mean there are few concerns. I think that's the overall gist I can say.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Uh, I would like to go on to the top order performances, but before that, if you all want to add something on bowling, if someone has any suggestions, or else we can move forward with the top order
Yeah,
batting
just
performances.
a
Yeah.
thought on Mohammad Siraj. He is not being considered for T20 internationalists. Arshdeep Singh, Jasprit Bumrah, and Harshit Rana, and he
Hmm.
was not considered for this ODI series. Initially, we were told that he was rested, but what I
Yeah.
saw, he was playing the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
that was surprising for me. If he's available and if he's fit, he should play this ODI series because we might need him. Will need him in the 2027 ODI World Cup. We need three good pacers. Bumrah is one of those. Who are the rest two? Harshit Rana, they're developing as a number 8 who can bat a bit and bowl. And we need another pacer. So it can be Siraj, it can be Krishna. And those are and Arshdeep Singh. These three are the options at this point. But Siraj could have played this ODI series, I feel.
Yeah, the thing is his fitness level. Like when Bumrah was not available, he was the go-to person for ICT, whether it be in test or limited overs earlier. But yeah, that's a concern that he's not
Is
being
he
considered for
part
the
of
limited
this
overs.
T20 series against
No,
Africa?
Siraj is not
He's
part
not a
of this.
white bowler. They kind of made him a one format bowler, which is sad.
Yeah,
But
which is
Yeah.
quite
his
strange.
workload is a concern. Like BCCI and NCA should have asked him to sit at home. Like, why is he
Yeah,
playing?
exactly. He shouldn't
Exactly.
have played
Yeah.
the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. I
I
mean,
think
there's
I
no
think the
reason for
idea is to kind of Bumrah and Siraj are fixed for the 27
Hopefully,
World Cup,
yeah.
but they need to find out who should be a third and fourth
Third.
bowler, and that is what they are using these bilateral series for. Is what
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
That was
I see
reflected
Arsh
in
as
the
third. Yeah.
squad selection for both batters and bowlers. Sorry, so like I agree with Amrit in the sense that we didn't have a replacement fast bowler, spinner, and a middle order and a top order batter. To be honest, like the questions faced were even if Jaiswal failed, which he did in the first two innings, he was back. Prasidh Krishna, Ashdeep didn't take a lot of wickets; they were back. Like there were no replacements, so it seems it was like a conscious decision to experiment with more
Yeah.
testable figures. And if you could ask why, like, of course, Rohit and Kohli, that's the only format they're playing, they had to be tested. Why was Jadeja in the mixture? My question is, I don't think they believe Jadeja is a walkthrough, considering how good Akshar has been for in the white ball format for BCCI. So they also wanted to test out how Jadeja was, so it makes sense why he was there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Jadeja and Akshar, they are testing out. Akshar obviously is the first choice, and they are just testing out Jadeja whether he can survive till the
Hmm.
2027 World Cup.
Yeah.
Another question: just anybody has anything on Mohammad Shami? Why is he not being considered, or he's just out of contention now for the ODI format?
I'm gonna say he's out of contention for the ODI format. This might be a question because of how we've been performing. It's been a straightforward lack of communication from both
Yeah.
ends. If the player is saying I haven't been notified that I should take rest, but I'm fit, and they say you're not fit, it seems they move forward from it. This has happened time and again, to be honest. Like Rahane has been would be a champion, and he would kind of save us. He'd get dropped. Pujara, phenomenal run, he get dropped. Like this is happening again. I feel like this happens every single time there's been like a refurbishment in the staff. We've seen this before in Dhoni's captaincy as well. Like, sure, it was out of form Yuvraj who was kicked out, but he was kicked out. Zahir Khan, phenomenal World Cup in 2011, but he wasn't even part of the 2013 Champions Trophy. These changes do happen, and I guess we trust the process. Like if you don't give opportunities to someone like Ashdeep or Harshit Rana, Prasidh Krishna, you never know if they will be in the squad later.
Yeah. And as you mentioned earlier, like about Jaiswal, what do you think? Like if Gill comes in, will Jaiswal be dropped even like after scoring a century?
I mean, Gill is the captain, so
Yeah, so he has to be dropped. But yeah, still, it's the same thing what happened earlier with Ishan Kishan. He scored a double century, and yeah, yeah.
and not
I mean, I
only
don't want to
Jaiswal, but
say.
I think even Gaikwad will be dropped as soon as Iyer is
Yeah,
available.
if exactly, yeah.
I'm gonna
That's
say it was confirmed. Like Gambhir was asked to comment on Gaikwad's performance, and it's like he did really well. He's been playing for India a domestic, and based on Jaiswal and Ratura's form, maybe they could be a permanent selection in the squad. They're still not in the 11. Understandably, because you can't replace Shubman Gill
Well,
for however you say he's been a home track bully. World number one, phenomenal track record in ICC tournaments like World Cup. He was really good, Champions Trophy, phenomenal. I don't think you should remove Shreyas Iyer even if he can come and bat in crutches. Like the number 4 stability given, which ICT has had a question since 2016. The fact that you cannot question anymore and you can talk about a backup is because Shreyas Iyer has been that good. So I don't think they
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we can move to the next segment, which is again the big two, the Ashes, which is pretty exciting. Like we have seen a 2-day test match in the Ashes, where we have witnessed like 19 wickets on the day one of a test match. Now let's say the same thing happens in India. Like if it would have happened in India, what the analysts or the experts would have called like the pitch, because the pitch was rated good, right? I'm not sure good or
very good.
better.
Very
Very
good.
good, very good. Yeah,
Highest rating.
in what exactly? So if the same thing happens in India, in any of the subcontinent, the whites would say such things like I can't even imagine. So what's your take on that? I can, like, Amrit, you can start.
Yeah. So again, yeah, what you said, that is one perspective. Uh, you know, being unfair on Asian
Mm.
pitches.
Mm.
But I have another thought that a test match in the subcontinent, ideally, if you prepare a rank turner and it ends in 2 days, that's not good, because ideally your pitches should not start turning from day one itself.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
these should deteriorate over time, and then the turn increases from, let's say, day 2 or day 3. uh, that is not ideally how tests have been. But again, question is whether this perspective needs to be changed. I don't know.
Or maybe I can also say there is a shift in the mindset of the batsman as well, batsman or the players, because due to this buzz ball, and I am not sure if Travis Head even cares of white ball, pink ball, red ball, or buzz ball. Like I'm not even sure. I saw Insta reel or something. It was really funny. But yeah, there has been a shift in the mindset of players as well. They are playing at, like, what say earlier, the Test cricket used to be at 3 or 4, maybe not even that, the run rate per over, and now it's more than 6. You have seen the chase, the first Test chase, which was like insane batting by Travis Head. He was playing T20 or ODIs and that. So yeah.
Was on StatGeeks, the average run rate for the first Ashes Test match was 4.77, and the entirety it took, the number of balls which England played was less than Alistair Cook's entire single innings number of balls.
Yeah.
To answer the pitch question, see, historically, it's been a big kind of, like Asian pitches haven't been rated well, even though they were okay, but the overseas pitches and like South Africa, England, New Zealand, Australia were rated okay. But this time it was genuinely, the Kolkata pitch was bad, like openly bad. It was not what anybody would have wanted. And the first Ashes pitch was predictable. Like, was
Gambhir wanted exactly the pitch they asked for.
Sure, yeah. I don't know. Probably
Yeah.
he.
But they
had a
changed that
clone
statement
for
3
himself.
days later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Kotak came out and said that this was not what we wanted.
So Gambhir seems like he's Gautam one day where he says he says point A, and he's Gambhir the next day where he contradicts himself. So I'm not surprised.
He's a politician.
Yeah. So but
Yeah.
with the Perth pitch, right? Like,
Ex-politician.
yeah. Like, is your concern that it had a lot of bounds? Both England and Australia knew that this pitch offers that. The team selections were based on the picking Markwood, picking Archer, and even in Australia, to be honest, like Lathalayan bowled 2 overs in entirety. He batted more balls than he bowled, and he's a champion in Australia as well. Like, so it wasn't unpredictable. It wasn't bad. It was bad cricket from both sides. Australia got lucky. Travis had played that innings in 200. He scored 120. And because he played that innings, Marnus Labuschagne was able to play like a better innings for his own standards, to be really honest. So Australia got
Yeah.
lucky. England and Australia played terrible cricket, and that begs the question of where are we going with respect? Is it it's bringing more crowds and everything, the attacking form of cricket. India have lost with that sort as well. Like no brains, just attacking has costed Test Wallace wicket too many times. Dhruv Jurel pulling a Jansen's ball and getting out for no reason. This has affected both sides, irrespective of which continent they play in. It is it like, but definitely the Perth pitch was all right. Like we saw the game and there weren't bouncers hitting someone's helmet. Like you could have left that ball, and if Harry Brook is gonna live and die by his sword and get out caught at slip every single time, then it's high time England considers split coaching at this point.
Yeah. And I have one question for everyone, and I want you all to keep it short, maybe short and sweet. How important is Joe Root scoring runs for England and for the survival of England, I can say. And I also want to know, like,
Well,
before
it is
closing this
important for
segment.
Matthew Hayden to start off with.
Yeah. Yeah. And my follow-up question is like, what are your predictions for the remainder of the series? So we can start with anyone. We can start with Shubham. You can keep it short and sweet. Joe Root scoring runs and the predictions.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Joe Root definitely is the big guy for England. They need him to score runs, and once he scored runs, they did get to a decent score, 339. Having
Yeah.
said that, they have lost the second game as well. It's 2-0 now. But predictions, I think it's gonna be 4-0 or 5-0 now,
4-0.
because yeah, it's going to be very difficult. Initially, I had predicted 2-2. I thought this England team had something in them, but now looking at the results currently, they wasted an opportunity in Perth. In the pink ball test, I thought they had got a par score 339, but the way they bowled in the first innings, they've lost that game as well. And Cummins is coming back. Lyon will be back for the Adelaide test. It's just gonna get difficult from here for England. They are going to get abused from all over the place now. It could be 4-0 or 5-0.
Yeah. Thank you, Shubham. And we can move to Amrit maybe. But before that, welcome, Kevin. So my question is, how important is Joe Root scoring runs for England's survival in this series? And the other thing is your prediction. That's it. So you can start, and then we can go to Amrit. Yeah.
Yep, it's very critical because we
Yeah.
saw with Joe Root not scoring runs in the last two Ashes series. We're looking at 2 days, 3 day test matches. At
Mhm.
least in this time, we've had England score 300 plus, but it can't be always Joe Root and Ben Stokes. And this series, at least Ben Stokes started well with the ball, and he got a 50 in the second test in the third innings. But still, you'd expect the likes of Ollie Pope, Zach Crawley to at least deliver. And absolutely, they've just flattered to deceive. And we're always having Joe Root be the 10 for 2 guy, and he's delivering, but still you'd expect a lot more from the batting. And this time they had Atkinson who could bat a bit. You had even Bryden Cast, who's considered to be a bowling all rounder. You had Jofra Archer. With all these guys with such a strong batting against a relatively weaker bowling lineup, if you can't push the test into the fourth test match. And my concern with this England strategies, you're not having the Aussies, field for 90 overs. And that's the problem. We're not talking about fatigue. It's a 5 day test match. The more you have the Aussie bowlers, out in the field bowling 20, 30 overs, Mitchell Stark, he still seems fresh. I think he's got almost 18 wickets or 16 wickets. I think 18 wickets
18, 18, yeah.
in this test series, and we're only talking about two tests. So had we had the England bowlers, not bowlers, the batsmen, had they grinded him out, we could see him, miss out on the fourth or the fifth test match. But that's not going to happen now because these guys they just don't know when to find the right balance between attack and defend. And some of their techniques are, you just don't they don't give you the confidence that they can hang in there. And the bowling also has been disappointing. If you see all the Aussie batsmen in the first innings, they all got to double digits. So it just tells you that they that practice match they should have considered. They should have come well prepared. This was their best chance, and you had no Stark, no Hazelwood, no Cummins, and even no Lyon for this test match, and you still flattered to deceive. And
Yeah.
I thought with Travis Head opening, and if they could just get him out early, we could see them collapse, because the batting doesn't give you that confidence. The Aussie batting, it has been just Steve Smith and Travis Head with the
Mhm.
experience, but still we're looking at 5-0. I don't see 4-0. I cannot see how England can just hang
Maybe
in
rain.
there, and
Yeah.
even rain.
If
Like how many days do you expect it to rain as well? You know,
Australian
yeah,
summer,
exactly.
I think it's gonna be.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's bad. It's not looking good for the English
Mhm.
fans. They can,
Yeah,
and now there's something good to look forward to, the Archer versus Steve Smith battle. I Yep, and I,
yeah,
I think the point of concern is like what do they do differently? Do they bring in Bethel for Pope? I don't feel that's going to help or solve their problems. Do they get in Tongue if possible, who can add in that pace? Maybe it could help, but it's disappointing. Like it's as good as it's like watching India versus West Indies now. The Ashes has become more of like India versus West Indies, and impressively West Indies has also done well in this last Test match, but England has been always on the decline, and the issue with them is the excuses that they come up with. At least West Indies cricket has admitted that there are some issues and they are
hmm,
working on it, but England just don't want to acknowledge their issues, and that's why we see the same pattern again and again.
yeah. Also, I heard something like someone told me that you're waiting for Joe Root to not score 100 in this Ashes, and what's the reason? Please tell us. Is that because of you wanted to see something? You wanted to see something of Matthew Hayden, or like?
I think everybody wanted
Sorry,
to see.
sorry. That's the yeah.
I think everybody
So
wanted
we
to
can.
see Hayden, but yeah, nobody wanted to see Matthew Hayden out there at MCG. Yep.
Yeah, we can
Let's
we
say
can
that
move
was
to. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, this is a
Yeah,
podcast, guys. Okay, and next we can move to Amrit
yeah.
Shahu and like for his predictions. Yeah.
Yes. So yes, coming to Joe Root, he has been the mainstay of the England batting lineup, and considering that they are mindlessly going about the baseball approach, there needs to be someone who stays put on at least one side so that the others can at least try to hit and get some runs. Which again, the other side batters are not doing anything, and they need to step up as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that one person who has to stay put is Joe Root, and
Yeah.
he has the ability. He has shown it in the last match. So if England have to get at least any chance of winning a match, Joe Root has to play his best, and the others should also be supporting him. It can't be obviously one player.
Yeah.
Coming to the prediction, yeah, I agree with Kevin. If 5-0 seems like a
5-0.
very good possibility, unless there is a draw in one of the matches, which doesn't seem likely right now.
Yeah. So what's your take on this, Nikhil? Predictions. I think everyone agrees with 5-0 or at least 4-0 maybe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I can only say yeah, Pfizer. So my only
Five,
concern was
yeah.
that would they draw a game, because I was happy seeing how Will Jacks, the new addition, and Ben Stokes actually, just
Mm-hmm.
played 30 odd overs. But the problem is, there was this commentator who said there is no fear and concern that they'll get dropped. Ollie Pope and Zach Crawley, sure, Zach Crawley played some fire innings, but they don't have the fear that they get replaced. The replacement is Jacob Bethel, who hasn't had game time at all, so he's not going to replace them. And if he replaces them, the assurity that he'd play like a record innings is unlikely. The reason why we were talking about Joe Root with his phenomenal form is that in the first innings he played 206 balls. No other English player in their long lineup where Jofra Archer is number 11 is guaranteed to play more than 50 balls. They can score 30 ball 50 probably, like Harry Brook and like even Ben Stokes can play that like attacking innings, but it's not going to be a 5-day test for there to even have a draw in this picture. So openly it's going to be 5-0 considering Stark's been fresh, like Kevin said, and Michael Nesser bowled really well with the pink ball, but you got at least Cummins coming for sure in the third test. Hazelwood not sure yet. But in with Lion coming into the mix, I don't think it's gonna get easier for them. It's gonna be 5-0 because even if they want to consider changing their mindset, their reserve is Shoaib Bazir. Great, like he's had a good record compared to Will Jacks, but they don't have a test side. They still have a white ball side playing test cricket, and it's not going to work out in these overseas conditions. They got lucky India didn't defeat them, to be honest. Both of us played bad cricket, and it was a drawn series.
Yeah,
So,
I was about to say that. Yeah. Makes sense. So, yeah, last but not least, Shabby, what's your predictions? We can just directly,
I mean, I,
I
I,
think,
I do have a bit, no, I do have a bit different opinion.
oh,
I still think
okay.
England can win one match at least.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have one question. Do you think Australia would have won the first match had that head innings had not come?
I
So
believe England would have won it. Like based on
exactly.
how it was going, the pitch did get better, but it was still a matter of two
I
players.
think 200 target was still tough in the fourth
Yeah, I
innings,
agree.
around 200 or what division. So, exactly. I mean, I think England can still win. The baseball can at least work once a time. One in. I mean, sometimes. I mean,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least
yeah.
in one of the match. So that's what I mean. That I think they can win one of the matches in the upcoming three.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm predicting 4-1 or 3-1 if one goes draw because of rains and
Mm-hmm.
something. Definitely not because of the players,
Yeah.
but rains or something. If one match goes draw, then 4-1
Yeah.
I'm predicting or the 3-1.
Okay.
And yeah, the reason is exactly that baseball will work someday. In the first match, they were almost there, but the head is like we know how headache he's been. So that's the prediction I have. And talking about
Yeah.
Joe Root, I think I'm just in line with what Amrit said. He needs to be anchor. He needs to play sensible cricket, not the baseball cricket, because he's the guy who can do that. And baseball can be done by anyone. They have batting till number 11, so all the guys can play baseball.
Yeah.
But just someone needs to stay up there. And I think the first inning of this match was perfect example how what Joe Root can do. We all saw that. But again, the issue was they couldn't replicate that in the second innings, and that's where the problem started. That was really bad second innings for England. And yeah, I mean, Joe Root is very important for England, but just that he should play in a traditional Test cricket, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. So, uh, we have pretty much discussed everything in world cricket, I think. Not everything. We're more focused on Indian cricket and the Ashes, of course. But yeah, there are some upcoming big events coming, and we can like spend our time like 10 more minutes on this. My question is India still making into the finals of WTC?
I'm gonna openly say not. No way we're gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah, I know.
because of how the fixtures have kind of turned out as a disadvantage for New Zealand has just started
Hmm.
playing Test cricket, and we've already played seven, and
Hmm.
we're not
I
looking.
mean, so I think we have New Zealand tour next year, right?
Yeah,
And if I remember correctly, we are 2-0 in the last two New Zealand tours. I mean, we haven't won a single match in New Zealand. So that is, I guess, tougher than Australia to win the matches in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So New Zealand tour, if you are again going whitewash, then what are you doing? I mean, in the PJT, 5-0 is definitely not happening. So I don't think India is making
yeah, and
this.
it didn't help that South
And
Africa won two tests away, and
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
seems like an Australia South Africa final
Pakistan.
again.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we'll see.
And right now, I think BGT 5-0 is next to impossible. I don't think so because you're losing to South Africa home series. So yeah, that's not even a point. So yeah, yeah. And do y'all have any like team combination for the upcoming T20 World Cup? Anyone can like Shubham or Kevin, you guys can.
Yeah, I think the squad which they have selected for this series is most
I'm
likely
talking
going to be
about
the,
the 11. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, the squad will be the same. So the 11 you're looking
Hmm.
at obviously Gill and Abhishek Sharma to open. You
Hmm.
have Surya and Tilak at 3 and 4. They keep interchanging. Then you have Dubey
A
in the
similar
middle
squad.
order.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dubey, you have Hardik and you have Jitesh. So that's your,
Hmm.
and then you have Aksar as well. So that's your eight. And then 9, 10, 11, you have Bumrah, Arshdeep, and then one of Varun and Kuldeep, and if they want both of them to play, then I'm not sure how. Maybe Dubey has to sit out, or somebody has to sit out for Varun and Kuldeep both to play.
Hmm.
But we'll need three spinners, right, in India.
I think so. Yeah.
Washington.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm little. How do I put? I'm on the fence. I'm not sure. Like, are we seeing Dew around that time during the World Cup? Can we have three spinners with Dew around?
I
Because
mean, in the
my
World Cup,
concern
we
is,
probably would also go with three spinners just for team combination. I mean, okay, you know what? It's puzzling with Gambhir at this point, but
yeah, because my concern is that so we it's not finalized on our keeper as of now. The only thing that we have finalized is I think Abhishek Sharma is locked in. You have Sky at three. You have Tilak at four. Shubman Gill has the backing of the selectors. Um, there is a thought of chain of thought saying that hey, Samson deserved that position, but now if we're pushing, if we're moving with Gill as an opener, so you have I think you have already Abhishek Sharma who can bowl a bit, and you have three guys who don't bowl. So you have a number five position. Either you try to bring in a proper batter, wicket keeper batsman over there in either Jitesh Sharma, or you try to make Sanju Samson your guy who can just hang in there. My personal opinion is that if you're looking at a keeper position at five, KL Rahul seems the best bet because he has the game, he has the experience, he has the versatility to deliver under pressure as well now. So instead of having someone like Jitesh Sharma who has just 150 in IPL, and you know it's very it's not right to judge based on IPL performances because even though the grounds are something similar, the opposition is you're looking at more of Indian bowling and just one to overseas guys there out there. So
Hmm.
I would prefer that you have your keeper if you want. Gail, not Gail. You have KL Rahul at five, and then six is where Hardik Pandya comes in. So you have two guys who can bowl, and now you have another five bowlers still available.
Hmm.
So I don't see where there's a spot for Washington Sundar in here. You can go with Akshar. You can go with Kuldeep. Do you want to go in with Varun? Maybe against the teams that struggle against the spin. You could try him like against the associate nations, against teams like Australia and on where you are a little skeptical as to do you need more batting so that you can be more explosive. There is my concern. Like do you want to go in with an additional batter? So because when you're under the pump, you're never going to go to Tilak Verma's bowling or Abhishek Sharma's bowling. You'll back your three pacers, be it Arshdeep, Bumrah, and Hardik. And if you want to sneak in, you can try to sneak in Siraj as well. Because whenever you're looking for a wicket, it's always the pacers whom you will go to, not the spinners, because the grounds in India are going to be small. So I'm like, I understand we're winning a lot, but if you see the teams whom we have played, I think just we played against Australia 1-2 games, and I don't think they played their best 11 over there. So
So,
I'm not
Kevin, so what are you suggesting here? The 11 which I have put out here. We have Gill, Abhishek openers, Surya Tilak 3-4. Obviously, you are suggesting Samson instead of Gill, which is fair enough because Gill hasn't done anything. But yeah, does
No,
Dubey
I'm
play?
okay with KL also coming in, but I'm not a fan of having Jitesh Sharma with not much experience. I'm not a fan of him being down there because you're already having two guys who will be opening the first time in the World Cup, Gill and Abhishek. and
Hmm.
and your if you see your entire batting. So even Dubey, I'm not a fan. If you're using him only against spinners as that spin basher, you could play him in only if that is the chain, the chain of thought. And
So
from the
are you
bowling
bringing Sundar for Dubey, or who comes in for Dubey?
no, so Sundar is not in my
11.
11 at all. I'm just
Okay.
having one finger spinner, and that is going to be Akshar
Akshay.
Patel.
so a pure
Yes, only
batter comes instead of Shivam Dube in your 11.
yes.
So number five, like in the recent trend, that kind of has been Ringo Singh, but
Rinku, yeah.
that begs the
Yeah.
question based on the squad selected. Is India considering it's in? I think you were asking a question about duet. Well, it's happening in India and Sri Lanka in March, where it's pretty dry, so there might not be a lot of truth. That gives you an option to play three spinners. That's probably why India are overlooking Rinku Singh, even though he's been good, and they want Washington to be at that number five, number six, number seven.
Yeah. So yeah, we can also discuss about the ODI World Cup. I know it's early and the focus is on Roko, but
I think a
yeah.
question came in for Shabby.
Question for Shabby: will Jadeja survive the 2027 World Cup? Yeah. So take this question, Shabby. Come on.
Jadeja will definitely survive, but I'm not sure whether selectors will select him. So if you're talking about WTC 2027, I'm damn sure he's in the playing eight side. If India reaches WTC 2027 final, I'm considering Jadeja as like Rangana Herat type guy who will be keep playing tests on and on till he can't walk at all. So
Yeah.
in test squad we don't have any doubt about it that he will be there as long as is possible and he will be playing in the playing 11. But ODI World Cup, I mean, we have to be practical. Like even though I'm his fan, but we have to be practical that Akshar is way better, and I don't think Akshar and Jadeja both can be part of ODI World Cup in South Africa. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So we have to be a bit practical, and I don't think he would be considered unless Akshar gets injured.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And oh yeah, go ahead.
yeah, like Akshar Patel has been breathing down Jadeja's, neck for quite some time, but Jadeja has not shown any signs of slowing down. And you got to back him, like the batting, the experience, because Akshar,
Oh, definitely.
even though
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
good, but we're trying to use him as a number five position, and it did us wonders in Dubai, but in South Africa, I'm not sure whether having someone like Akshar Patel bat at five is going to help us. Because if you see the way our team is structured, you have three solid top order bats in Virat Kohli. You can say Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and Gill. And if you bring in Jaiswal, who's got 100, he's done well. You have Gaikwad, you have not Surya Kumar Yadav, you have Shreyas Iyer
Yes, sir.
and KL Rahul. So you have your top five, which seems a typical solid, what you can say, batsmanship there. You don't want to bring in a floater and try to, just waste a wicket. In if it's because the opposition is not going to bring in an off spinner because they see Akshar Patel coming in. They're still going to go at you with their pace bowlers in South Africa. So that move works when it's if you're going to use it as a how would I put it is a joker in the pack. So that move works there, but I don't like that approach.
But just one question. So if you're not considering Akshar to bat at five, if he is coming at the traditional seven position, five down. So at five down, considering the batsman, Jadeja is better or Akshar is better
I mean,
at
Jadeja
number
is any
seven?
day better because if you see Jadeja, he doesn't show you signs of throwing his wicket away, and somehow he has this ability to bat with the tail, which I've not seen that much from Akshar Patel. If you see Jadeja, whenever he bats with the tail, he gets you those runs. The only time Jadeja goes out cheaply is when you try to promote him. So whenever he has been promoted above a proper batter, he tries to he gets intimidated by with that pressure of partnering his partner. He tries to go for the shot and he just throws his wicket away. If you go
Mhm.
back and get the stats, whenever he's batted with the tail, he's somehow able to navigate through the field. And this is a skill that players like Bevan, MS Dhoni, they were able to very well execute. And when you're batting with the tail, you need to know when to take the single and when to go for the boundaries. And the opposition captain always wants to give you that single. So so this is where I'm of the opinion that you go with your top five batters, play Hardik. If there's no Hardik, then you play just five bowlers and six batters. That's a much better tactic to use rather than have someone like Washington Sundar who's going to bowl you 4 overs and may bat like 20 balls for 16 runs. At the most, he'll give you 30 of 20. So I don't think it's a good trade-off. But it's with Gambhir, there is this. He wants to prove a point that you need to prioritize domestic cricket and you need to give importance to all-rounders. And it's as long as he'll get a few victories, we'll be like, hey, it's doing wonders. But when you're under the pump, I don't think it's going to work. This tactic is definitely not going to work.
Yeah, we will have to see how we're winning these matches. Like, just getting across the line is not a long-term victory. So,
Yeah. Oh, we have another question. Do you think Gill deserves a spot in T20 squad? I guess even Jaiswal or Samson would be better. So, Who wants
I think
to
Kevin,
take on
Kevin has
this?
wanted this question for sure.
No, my issue with Gill is that if I have Tilak Verma and Surya Kumar Yadav, I can't play Gill. That is my problem. And because Gill was good till 22, 23, he was phenomenal. But if you see that the games that he played last year for GT as well, you had a player like Sai Sudarshan who overshadowed him, you know. And what is the best that he can give me? Like even if he gives me runs at striker 140, 150, I'm sacrificing a keeper spot for him, and that
Yeah,
is where my entire combination changes, and which is not why I'm a big fan of. If in case Gill can score me, let's say 100, when the opposition is not opposition are his partners at the other end are going out for 15, 16. If he has that kind of a skill, then it's a different topic altogether. But we are not going to play on those kind of pitches, where such a technique is going to get what you can say is going to be required. So I would back. My concern with backing Samson also is that Samson has never shown that he can play under pressure. Now, very rarely has he produced those knocks under pressure, and which have been match winning. He gets you those runs, but against the big teams, when it matters the most, he is always flattered to deceive. So that's why I said if they want to go ahead, they can go ahead with Gill. They can go ahead with Jaiswal. Jaiswal's advantage is that he is pretty aggressive, and we don't have too many off spinners in the game now who will start bowling in the power play. And even if you have an off spinner bowling in the power play, I can assure you that Jaiswal and Abhishek Sharma are not setting ducks against off spin, especially in Indian conditions. So like I don't mind this. Like we have this combination of Jaiswal and Abhishek Sharma opening. You force the opposition team to play an off spinner, be it like Markram coming out to bowl or Maxwell bowling the first over, and we can milk them for 20 runs in an over. So it's not a bad tactic, but it's a call that they need to take. And if you want to go ahead with an Gill or Jaiswal, you can always make a case for KL Rahul in place of Rinku Singh, because even though Rinku did well to 23, if you see the IPL numbers that he has in 25, I don't think he did anything of significance. And then the argument can be that he didn't get too many batting options, or he was batting way down the order. But with such a strong Indian batting lineup that we have, it's
Mm,
going to be a case that he's always going to have those few balls. So he has to make
yeah.
an impact. So do you want to go in with another pure batter? I'm not sold on that kind of concept. So this is where I am. Like it all depends on how
Mhm.
Gambhir wants to do it, and there is no IPL tournament before the World Cup. So if this is the team, this series against South Africa is going to be very crucial. And I hope we can see Rabada play, because I want to see he is the one whom I feel has the what you can say is the experience to expose a few flaws in our batting lineup. Him and Berg, I want to see them going together. But if in case we have Bartman or the new guys come in, I don't think this series is going to help us a lot when it comes to preparation. We'll just
Mhm.
win it 2-0, 3-0, whatever is it, the scoreline. Oh, I
so
think it's 5-0.
5-9.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we might win 4-1, but when it comes in the World Cup, in the knockout games, I think we might just get exposed.
Mm,
Uh, by
yeah.
the way, we have 10 T20Is before the next
World Cup.
World Cup, five
Mhm.
with South Africa and five with New
Five
Zealand.
with New Zealand, yeah.
Yes, so these are going to be the matches where the squad is going to get finalized.
Mhm. Yeah, and like talking on the 2027 World Cup for Roko, will their selection be dependent on their performances? Let's say they are available. Okay, will it depend on on their performances till 2027, or like looking at their caliber? What's your take on this?
Yeah, what do you say?
My thought is they should be there for sure,
Yeah.
unless and
Mhm.
until there is a thought from the management, like they are just very focused on something bad to happen, or someone
Mhm.
to fail, and they
Yeah.
get dropped. So I think
Mhm.
uh, they have to keep performing. There's no other choice for them.
Yeah, and Vijay Hazare is also coming. Like I think Virat is will be playing in that. Yeah,
yeah. He's in
Yes,
yeah,
process.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I'm
I
not sure about
Uh,
Rohit if he's
yeah,
playing.
same. Yeah, even I am not sure. Yeah,
I
But
feel
and
I think he
mhm.
will play as well. Rohit will play as well, I guess.
But it's not confirmed, right? Like
Yes.
the official news.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard
Okay.
that Rohit will play in the Mushtaq Ali knockouts.
That
Okay.
would be fun. Those are happening in Pune, so you can probably go and watch a few.
Good idea. Chalo,
Hmm.
Shabby sir.
Yeah, so thank you so much, guys. It was really nice chatting with you all, and honestly, I enjoyed being the host today. And just a quick heads up, like if some of our viewers don't wanna spend time listening the whole part of the podcast, I have highlighted some of the points, like the summary of this podcast, and that might go as a thumbnail of our YouTube. So I will share it for like a minute or so. Just give me a second. Mm, 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 mm. Share screen. Can y'all see this? Hello?
Yes, it's coming up.
It's
Yeah.
loading up.
Oh, it's loading. Just let me know if you can see it.
So we're
We
looking at
can
the
see
StreamYard
your
window.
video call window. Huh?
Okay, wait, wait. Stop share. Now? I don't think so. Like, why I'm not getting the option over there. But anyways, like, you can't see, right? Still?
I can only see the video call.
Video,
Video call.
yeah, it's
Huh.
just the same. StreamYard.
Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. If still not, then there is no other option to choose. There were three
Yeah, I can
options. I
see
chose.
your
You can
PowerPoint.
see the summary
Yeah,
slide.
yeah. We can see
Yes.
that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So I think we touched on each and every point. So this is a summary of whatever we have discussed today. So thank you so much, guys, once again. Honestly, again, I enjoyed it being the host today, and see you all in the next episode. Bye. Take care.
Thank you all.
Thank
Yeah.
you all.
Thank you.